Hi again, everybody. Scott Spradling, representing the World Affairs Council in New Hampshire and specifically focusing on the International Visitors Leadership Program. Such a great program, and we've had a chance to talk to a number of different voices and folks that have participated. And one gentleman who was recently in New Hampshire, all the way from Madagascar, is my new friend, Andry, who is currently the Deputy General Coordinator in charge of inspection, promotion, and integrity, Ministry of Justice. A big job, an important job. And Andry joins us all the way from Madagascar online today. And Andry, thank you so much for your time. I guess my first question is, I get a chuckle out of hearing that when you were first notified that you were a part of this program and being invited to New Hampshire to see our court system, you didn't believe it was true. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Hello, Scott. I'm very glad to take part of this interview, and thank you for the invitation. So I'm from Madagascar, and in Madagascar, I don't really have connection with the U.S. Embassy. So one day I got the first mail from the U.S. Embassy that I've been nominated for the IVLP, and really I didn't believe it at the first time. That there is a on my mail, I get sometimes this joke or something like this, who talks that you have won a prize without doing anything, and I didn't apply to anything for the IVLP. And the first time I got the email, I really didn't believe it. So the first time I did was to double check who sent me the email. So there was 2 persons in the mailing list, and I checked them, and then I noticed that they really works for the U.S. Embassy here in Madagascar. So I began to believe it. Oh, that must be something interesting, and I gave the first answer to that, and the process went until I was in the USA
I
and
love
New
it.
Hampshire. Uh-huh.
Well, and I know that you have at least one colleague who's also visited the United States in a similar method. But
Uh-huh.
considering you represent the Ministry of Justice and you came here to look at the U.S. courts, what was
Mhm.
your takeaway? How was the visit, and what did you learn?
Yes, I learned a lot. I know the common law from books. Read a lot of books about it, but to experience it, to see it really, how it works, it's really something different. The trial, jury trial, that's something very new for us, and also even the philosophy, that's the one big difference, because when you talk about justice in Madagascar, we say that the justice applies the law. But in the US, the word you put forward is that the judges interprets the law. And you can say that it's only a little difference, but in fact, behind that, there is something else, totally something else, because the judges in the U.S. Judicial system has much more power than the judges here in Madagascar, and it's also, I think, one of the causes that the American people trust their justice, because we were told that the American citizens trust their justice. So about 75% of people in America trust their judicial system. And it's very high. And I think it's something very, very, very important. And it is also one big challenge for us here in Madagascar, that people trust their justice here. And I think in the next years, I will really do my best to make that this trust in justice in Madagascar will increase.
I think that's great. I know you had a chance to be in our federal courts to review a
Yeah.
Bitcoin case, which has global implications. But one of the things
Uh-huh.
I love about this program is you do the study by day, but you also have a chance to build relationships in the evening. And you had a chance to be at a dinner at the home of Jane Bradstreet for part of the home
Yes.
hospitality program. And if I remember correctly, it was all during your birthday. So how was that experience for you?
Yeah, so I spent 5 days in New Hampshire, and I really enjoyed it because, even the landscape in New Hampshire reminds me one place here in Madagascar because it is wooded, lots of woods everywhere, and it reminds me also of the rainforest of east of Madagascar where the lemurs lives, and I like spend my holidays there. So even the landscapes in New Hampshire, I really enjoyed it. And yes, well, two highlights in New Hampshire was that home hospitality, which is very also one thing that make the IVLP program one great program, because we had the opportunity to visit a normal family in America and to talk about everything. So I really had the opportunity to talk to Jane and her husband and also her friends. And we've three other colleagues. And at the first time, we were really, when you go to someone, you wonder what will happen, and even at the first minutes, it went very well, and we talked first about our family, about what we are doing in our country, and then we talked about the everyday life in America. Yeah, that was very interesting for us. We also talked about politics and also about local politics. That is very interesting for me because of American federalism was also something very new for me. Yes, I know it from TV and from books and so on, but to experience it in New Hampshire, that was really very wonderful for me. We had a guided tour from your house, the State House of New Hampshire, and to see where the senators work, so the representatives work, and also the office of a governor. We had the opportunity to visit the office of a governor, and it really something that you cannot forget in our life. As they say, IVLP is a once in a lifetime experience, and it is really that. Yes.
Andre, thank
And
you so much for your time and for sharing the stories and your perspective. And we are so glad to get a chance to befriend you and get to know you. And we wish you the very best.
yes, thank you.